Knicks was a very bad game. So how you clean up those deficiencies from that first game?
Yeah, I mean, we got to acknowledge the areas that got us in trouble. I mean, the Knicks are chock full of a lot of great one-on-one defenders. I thought they did, good job with some of their shift rotations, trying to build out forces to play one-on-one, and then we just turned it over. It was an off night. It was a combination of us playing poorly and also, playing into their strengths, which we've got to adjust coming into the second game, and can't let them live in transition. I thought we did a good job in the half court when we executed our game plan. We're going to still need that tonight, but we got to limit those free points that we give them, not just at the beginning of the possessions, but also in the rebounding department, which is still a major issue of ours.
Coach Santi has really excelled in a six-man role. Where have you seen his biggest area of growth from last year to this that has allowed him to be so productive?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said it more or less throughout the season. I mean, he's just playing with this just great level of confidence, aggressiveness as well, comfortability. I think, our offensive, system, just the movement, the cutting, just kind of locks him with his playmaking, gets him into those three-point shots with a little bit more rhythm than we've had in the past. And then he's very malleable. Coming off the bench, he can start, he can finish games, he can play the four, he can play the three. I think he just learned a lot about what he can accomplish out there with that aggressive mentality on both sides of the floor. We're always going to challenge to do more, but it's been that mentality since his summer work and how we started off the season.
Hey Taylor, I wanted to ask you how Lamar Stevens is progressing learning the new offense.
Yeah, it's just day by day. He and I are having great conversations. I think the coaches are doing a great job. He's very intent on getting up to speed as quick as possible. He knows what we're trying to do defensively. Obviously, he got that exposure last year, but our movement patterns and reading where drives and cuts and movement on the three-point line, I think he's picking it up pretty well. So it's just a daily process with him. Just stay ready.
You've been with Brandon Clark since your first year, and obviously he had some skills that I think have not gone away and that he still uses from his rookie season. Why are those skills in particular, whatever they may be, important towards the goals overall of the team and important, come playoff time?
Yeah, I mean, it's a credit to BC. He's got just a unique game. When you talk about the offense, it's obviously the pace. It's about how he can get behind the defense. It's about his offensive rebounding. It's his pick and roll threat, which we're trying to unlock a little bit more lately. And then the touch that he has in the paint. I mean, we saw that his rookie season, just that lethal floater. And, sometimes against defenses are going to force you to take those shots. They're going to take away the rim. They're going to take away the three-point shot. I like how he's being a distributor sometimes. He's being a hub for us on the offensive side, keeping playing, whether it's pick and rolls or dribble handoffs, but sometimes late clock, they're going to find him in that half roll, and that's a shot we got a lot of faith in, knowing that the teams are building out and trying to stay home on shooters and not letting us get to the rim. So that's a big key, and then I've been very impressed with his one-on-one defense, switching a little bit more. That was an area of growth for him a couple of years ago, so can we get that versatility to unlock some even more lineups, despite just, playing with Jaren, he could play with other guys and be in those switch lineups.
Taylor, we're hosting a group of Jackson State University media studies and journalism students. I want you to speak to sort of developing young players to become professionals, but can you share a little bit of background about your career as a sports editor back when you were coming up?
Well, Jackson State, welcome. So excited to have y'all here. Hopefully are enjoying an unbelievable experience. For us, it's, I always talk about relationships with young players. It's all about education at the end of the day. There's hopefully a long runway and long careers, whether it's in sports or, media or whatever industry you're going into. It's all about learning process. So hopefully you've got great teachers, great mentors, people that are going to put your, their arms around you. It's a grind. What you knew before is not what you're going to know today and moving forward and what you need to know. So if you come in with kind of a humble, open mind and heart to learn and know that there's going to be successes down the road, but also failures and how you learn from that. I think that's key. With our players, we try to give them a game plan about building routines and habits that are going to be sustainable. It's not just a one-year thing. Hey, this is what rookies need to do. This is what 10-year vets need to be doing. So we're trying to get ahead of the curve and build foundational things, not just on the court and off the court. And, in my journey, I was fortunate enough to have unbelievable teachers. I didn't play college ball. I didn't work in college ball. My highest level of basketball was playing high school ball. And I had a lot of people just pouring to me. I was passionate, I worked hard, but I didn't know anything. So I came in with that open mind, and I just wanted to progressively get better, day in and day out, and not put the cart before the horse, or whatever the cliche lines are. I didn't try to, think too far ahead about where I needed to be. I just wanted to be present in the moment and just, go through the trials of growth and enjoy that process, because it may be better. Because especially now, however many years I've been in the NBA, I'm going to face my struggles and my challenges and my mistakes, and how I rebound from that and still learn and grow from that is very important. important. So hopefully that's helpful. But we try to impart that, you know, on our players at the moment they step, you know, foot in Memphis.
Hey, Coach, kind of to touch on that and then look at Ja. This is a chance to get him 9, 10, 11, 12 games in a row where it's been kind of tough to get him a stretch of, you know, a dozen games to run. Just your thoughts on him having that runway with his homestand, 2 away, and then coming back. And then to touch on what Mike said, just your advice to young coaches out there going into it's high school playoff time, it's March Madness is the playoff for you. Just what you've learned and advices to young coaches.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, Ja's playing extremely well right now, having a huge impact. Just want to continue to just lean into that. You know, we know what he can do over the course of a game. So it's great to see what he's doing, and I know there's more to come from him. And, you know, with coaches going into the high school tournaments right now, and then obviously March Madness, I mean, this is the start of the best time of the year, in my opinion. You know, you get playoff basketball at the high school level, you're going to get the collegiate level, and then going into the NBA playoff stretch all the way through June. This is the best. It's gonna, as I've been telling our team, the road's only going to get tougher from here, whether it's a quarterfinal matchup, a finals matchup, or just a play-in game or whatever. It's going to require the best out of you, and it starts with you as a coach. The players are going to look to you for the leadership, for the poise, the level of accountability, responsibility. So setting the tone, you know, that's what I'm trying to do right now, is making sure we're focused on our habits, our standards, and being consistent in that.
Parker and then Monica.
Taylor, so the Knicks defense, you know, they have a lot of like unshakable point of attack defenders, but they're also aggressive in the gaps. Just against teams of that profile, how do you, within your principles, crack the shell of the defense to kind of get out of the mud a little bit offensively?
Yeah, I mean, we've got to be mindful of the times to attack those guys, and definitely the times to not attack them, because they're elite for a reason. You know, they're great one-on-one stoppers. Allows the rest of the team to actually build out a little bit more. But then when we can put them in compromised positions where we can get other guys at the point of attack, whether that's in a drive situation, a closeout situation, maybe it's pick and roll actions to create, you know, those matchups. Maybe they're going to be forced to have to help a little bit more. So our relocations have to be good. And even when teams are building out and trying to stay home with an elite defender on the ball, our movement can hopefully open up more space for someone to attack. And maybe they make enough mistakes that we can still get our, you know, kickouts to shots, because I think they're one of the top teams in limiting kickouts because of that great point of attack defense. So our pace creates our first advantage. Can we find the space? And then when we've got to make sure we've got to attack certain personnel, we've got to make sure we're locked in on that.
The first time you run as the Knicks coach in the Garden, Mitchell Robinson wasn't available. He is approaching returning. If he goes tonight, how does that change what the Knicks do defensively?
We got to rebound for sure, offensively, and then defensively, you just got another, you know, legit, you know, elite, you know, rim protector. I mean, his length, his size, his physicality, you know, can wear on you. That's why we got to speed them up for sure. We got to get him moving laterally, you know, for us offensively, and then, you know, for us defensively, you know, we got to, as I said, we got to get the Knicks into a half-court game, not make it a turnover, you know, track meet like it was in game one, but knowing that he's one of the best offensive rebounders in the game, and that's definitely a weakness of ours right now.
Last two, Jeff and John.
Coach in the back, just any update on availability and injuries?
Gigi most likely is going to be out. He's just dealing with some eye inflammation. Had some imaging today. We'll see, you know, how things come up from the tests and how he feels tomorrow. And then Des is going to be a game time decision. We were smart, you know, didn't really do a lot in practice, and we're going to see how he responds in his pregame today.
Taylor, there's been a lot of close games recently. How do you approach like closing lineups? Who's on the floor? Is there certain guys you want to get to, and how much does who's playing well during that game affect who's out there at the end of the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's a combination of the two. I mean, definitely guys that are having nights, so I got to be mindful of that and try to figure out some of those pairings to make it work, because if guys are playing well and having an impact on winning, then I've got to trust in that. And you know, sometimes it's you know, opponent based, or maybe we can take an advantage of what a team's doing. We've got to make some crucial subs, whether it's at the guard front or the big front. You know, it could be schematic based. There's a lot of stuff that goes involved in that, but we're always mindful, especially when we get to that fourth quarter, we're already talking about how we want to close the game, seeing what we've gathered in 3 quarters, but things can change in the first couple of minutes of the fourth quarter that we have to be mindful of adjusting to.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Great, thanks everyone.